For the majority of us, spa days are phenomenal. But what about the parts of you that a facial or a massage just can't reach? Welcome back, travelers. You've landed at the Expat Cafe, and I'm your host, Aoife. Join me as we spill some tea on living abroad. You already know, as an expat, that living abroad is full of new sights, new sounds, and wonders of every kind. But did you know it is also the perfect time to learn how to take care of yourself holistically? The total you. Today, I'm going to walk you through some ways to take care of your body, mind, and spirit, with a focus on the mind and spirit, since we all know how to go have a great spa day regardless of the country we've chosen. In my opinion, there are two great facts of life. Fact number one, we all need a break sometimes. Fact number two, there is no better break than a day at the spa. And I mean, if you're thinking about it, embracing a spa day in the country you've chosen goes far beyond just a day of relaxation. You're actually learning about the culture. It can be as diverse as a Turkish hammam or a Japanese onsen. And if you're not familiar with either of those are things I strongly recommend. Whatever country you've chosen, there's going to be a way to pamper your body and relax the muscles and just go into a soothing time when your heart rate can go down and you can start dropping the cortisol levels. But what happens when the spa day is over, but there's still something missing and you can't put your finger on it? Truthfully, if I had to add another fact, it would be that we as humans require so much more than physical relaxation to be our best selves. So when your body's totally relaxed and you notice something is still missing, that's the time to look beyond the spa. Sure, after a rejuvenating spa day, your body feels great. But what about your brain? While it's not exactly breaking news that having a good body and a strong mind is the foundational underpinnings of any type of success, in my opinion, expats, more than most people, need to very much have a sharp mind along with a healthy body. Every day you face things you did not expect, from bureaucracy to people interactions. So if you are giving your best self to the situation, it's probably going to be a more positive experience. Doing things to actively feed your brain in addition to taking care of your body will totally help as you're navigating change in general. And what is the life of an expat except daily change? Luckily, neuroscience backs up my statement. If you're interested in this topic, catch my video on why expats have an unfair advantage in the brain game. Our brains thrive on being challenged. We know this instinctively from childhood. When we're in school, I have a feeling that we know we are capable of learning anything. And we do learn everything when we're young. It's so easy, we're like sponges. But we lose that ability over time. And as we age and more of life fills in the blanks, we have to actively seek out brain challenges. Luckily, if you're an expat, brain challenges are really going to be the crux of your everyday life. Of course, the first biggest challenge is learning the new language, or even learning a dialect of a language you already know. But yeah, learning a new language is a long-term investment in yourself, and it will take years to master. That's just a fact. So, if you're wanting to challenge your brain, but you need more immediate gratification, or you want something that has an easier element of mastery, I'm going to propose that you personalize your own success here. If you're into books or creative writing, join a reading club for the books, take a class for creative writing. And if you're not a classroom or a group person and you just want to learn privately and put it into action, why not hit the AuthorTube section of YouTube? A lot of authors and people from the publishing industries have started their own YouTube channels, and they basically guide you through everything from how to structure a story, how to put everything together, how to finalize your story, how to edit, how to self-publish. So if you're more of a loner like me, you can absolutely still learn everything you want to learn. So along the same lines of expanding your brain, challenging your brain, learning new things. Let's say that you do not want to go out and do things because you're more of a homebody. Don't overlook the sub niches in YouTube. Whether it's odd, alien-based fantasy or history shows, to the theory of relativity, to cooking shows. It is one of the best free knowledge repositories on the face of the planet. But let's say none of that appeals to you. Let me go ahead and challenge you to start a YouTube channel. I can assure you that if you were to start your own YouTube channel, there would be a lot of tutorials on YouTube about how to do it and how to do it well. Some of it will resonate, some of it won't, may not be in your natural wheelhouse, but your brain will be challenged. You will get a crash course in editing, filming, scripting, rewriting, using AI, using research laboratories, how to read analytics, technology frustration. Oh, and a healthy dose of humility, especially if you choose to videotape yourself in high definition or 4K and you happen to be having an acne outbreak. Seriously though, the point is you'll be exposed to a ton of information and basically expand your mind and keep your brain sharp. Learning is addictive. Once you start, you're not going to want to stop. And learning is the key to the fountain of youth. Keep your brain strong. So if a healthy body is the cornerstone to a vibrant life, and a sharp mind makes the changes and ups and downs of life easier to manage, how do you keep the two powerhouses in balance and running smoothly? That, my friend, is where spirit comes in. Feeling connected and feeling present in the moment and your experience and your location is the foundation of happiness. And if you can do it well, you are going to dominate living abroad. And though there are millions of ways of keeping yourself grounded and connected, generally, everything you can do falls into two broad categories. One is giving back to the community. Two is spiritual practices. And they're not mutually exclusive. These two categories pretty much catch everything you could possibly do as you nurture your soul. And we're going to talk about that, because you're not just living in a location, you're becoming part of it. Under the category of giving back to the community, any type of volunteer activity covers it. Any type, no matter how broad or how narrow. And I'm going to give you a hint on something a lot of people discount, but it totally falls into a volunteering situation and it can make you feel good. There are going to be tons of ways to help your community, globally and locally. My only advice would be, make sure that when you choose something to volunteer, or you choose an activity so that you can give back to the community, you are choosing something that resonates within you, not other people or what they think you should do, or they need bodies for their volunteer effort and so they want to rope you in. If it doesn't appeal to you, don't do it, because you will be miserable. And quite frankly, that defeats the purpose of keeping yourself connected. Now, of course, if you feel the need to jump in and take care of something, even if it's not what you like to do, by all means do it. Be that helper. But if you're going to volunteer and long-term commit to something, make sure it's something you love. Make sure it's something you can sustain. Nothing worse than getting into a commitment and finding out that it is not something you enjoy. If you're not into the traditional ways of volunteering, there is another thing you can do. Don't discount teaching, sharing your knowledge. Become that beacon of expertise. Trust me, if you know how to do it, there's somebody out there that wants to learn how to do it. And when you connect someone who can teach and someone who can learn, it becomes a beautiful thing. Both people walk away super fulfilled. Sharing knowledge is one of the most intimate ways to give. And yet at the same time, it has a space between the giver and the taker. And it is a very reserved way to volunteer. especially for people who feel uncomfortable in groups or who feel uncomfortable with traditional ways of volunteering. So besides volunteering, another great and fulfilling thing is maintaining your spiritual practices. Whether you're secular, spiritual, or deeply religious, don't separate yourself from your spiritual respite. Love going to church, temple, or mosque? Go, do it. Participating in local ceremonies that make you feel connected to others or your divine being can deeply connect you to your new location. More than that, attendance and prayer grounds you and provides support for the daily problems and reality slaps that are a part of all expat life. Speaking of reality slaps, next week's topic, 5 painful lessons every expat learns, whether they want to learn it or not. But if you're not the religious type, that's okay. Try yoga, try biofeedback relaxation, meditation, commune with nature, read what you want to read, do what you want to do, practice self-reflection. Don't discount having that alone time and that mental spirit downshift connection that often occurs when we just take the time to reflect or observe. The truth is, regardless of which side of the spiritual spectrum you fall on, enforced stillness can tighten the bond between your spirit, your mind, and your body, looking at a more holistic you. Regardless of how you get there, work on creating your inner peace. The rest sorts itself out. So technically, we've covered body, soul, and mind, and discussed a few ways you can tend to yourself holistically and make sure that you're not disconnected from any of the parts of you. But as an expat, there's one aspect of holistic health that is critical. And in a way, it takes mind, body, and spirit and ties it up in a neat little bow. You've got to take the cultural plunge. But IFA, mind, body, spirit, has nothing to do with cultural adaptation. Au contraire, mon frère. Think of it as the ultimate step in your expat journey. You need to bring your best possible physical health to the table. You need to bring your best possible mental and brain power health to the table. And you need to have everything connected up and be spiritually grounded in order to truly open up, accept, and integrate. To tie yourself to a totally positive adaptation experience and holistically blend your mind, body, spirit, and strengthen them while you're doing it, I totally propose that you dive into the traditions, the cuisine, and the art of the country you've chosen. Now, of course, do this within your socialization preferences and your people skills. Never go with something you're uncomfortable with. What I'm going to suggest is that you start with food. Food is easy because from the art of preparing it to the sheer pleasure of enjoying the fruits of your labor, food is one of those activities that literally can engage body, mind, and spirit. Take classes on making traditional dishes from your country. Even if cooking is not your thing, make the mind-body connection. Look at it as an academic practice. But I guarantee when you eat good food, it's almost a spiritual experience. And so trying out the fruits of your labor, or if you do it with a group, trying everybody's food, will definitely drive home the lesson. On the same note, you can consider taking art classes, mosaics, painting, pottery, any type of local art or traditional art. Same thing again. The joy of learning a new skill, the joy of the hand-eye coordination, the concentration of throwing yourself into a project, a creative project. All of those feed your mind, body, and spirit. But because you've tied it to traditions and the natural art methods and media of the country you've chosen, you're learning, you're adapting, you're integrating. Of course, I'd also be willing to bet that in your new home, there are traditions, festivals, and holidays that are made to feed either mind, body, or spirit. The trick is to participate, or at the very least observe, preferably both. And if you think that cultural adaptation might be a problem area for you, and you want some innovative strategies for combating some of the obstacles you're facing, check out this video, The 5 Red Flags of Cultural Adaptation. Now, my friends, you know how to take care of the total you, holistically, body, mind, and spirit, and how that can also help you tie everything together into a positive integration experience. Create your inner peace and live in balance with yourself. And if you found this video helpful, consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps the channel. Share it with an expat who might need it. And as we grow the channel, don't be afraid to put your comments or your suggestions or your own stories into the comment sections below the videos, because somebody will read them and you may just be the key to someone else's success. Until we next spill tea, keep your coffee strong, but your expat game stronger.